Hello, let's do Wordle for Wednesday, July 22nd. Yesterday we spun the wheel. It said to start with steel. Very good start. All right, just an L today. I like to try L's second. They tend to be there. What are common letters we still need? So if you get all gray steel, a crump is a really good follow-up according to the bot. So why don't we do clump instead? I don't know if that's any good, but why not? All right. All right, so still just a yellow L. It doesn't go where I expected. It could be at the start. Oh, wow. We got rid of a lot of good letters. R is still available, so we could use that. Something like Lori, but I don't really want to repeat the R. I think repeating the L isn't... I mean, I guess it could be an LLY word. In fact, we could be in the illy trap, the ollie trap, one of those LLY traps. So let's think about what's left for those. We got rid of a lot, I think. There's dilly, I think. Philly. Hilly, for sure. Billy, maybe? Also bully. Fully is definitely a word. Goalie is a word. I'd like to target the ones that could be on the with the O or the I. This is I mean, this is already 5 words. We don't want to get trapped. So we want to use multiple of these letters. So like, guild. I mean, I could do guilds, but let's see. I'd like to get the F, probably. I don't really need the G right now, because that's just goal. Oh, wait, there's no U. Why was I saying U? It's O. Golly is a word. Folly is a word. Dolly is a word. Okay, so can we target any of these? For some reason, I thought we had U left instead of O. Sorry about that weirdness, but it still applies. Fold. Like I can think of 4-letter words. DFG. Come on. Come up with something. I need to use the L somewhere. I just don't want to put the L second because it's already yellow there. So if I could start with L, that also starting with L helps for lolly as well. Now, I don't know that it's LOY, but if it is LOY, we don't want to get into that trap and lose. That's the whole point. So this protects against that. Lodge. I mean, obviously Lodge reuses the gray E, but it gets me the L for lolly, as well as dolly and dilly and golly. I don't know if jilly's a word. So I think it's a worthwhile hard mode filler here. You may disagree, but I'm going to try it. All right, so it is LO something. So it could be lolly. What else could it be? It could be Lori. I think that's how Lori is spelled. The what the British call 16-wheelers or whatever. Semis. Lofty is not there. There's no T. Like, what else is there? What about loony? We could do loony. Any other LOLOOs? Anything that doesn't use the Y? I don't know. There's a lot that do use the Y, so we should probably try it. But I'm a little bit worried. Do we have enough guesses left for what's left? So the problem is Lori and Lolly don't have anything to do with each other. And then loony is yet another one. So that's already 3 that don't tell you about each other at all. So if there's a 4th one that also doesn't tell, then we're in danger. There's lowly, but luckily something like lolly would tell you about that. Is there really not like a non-end in Y option? I wonder if one of those would be better, because we could do like Lauren. Like, I know it's not a word, but something like that would test Lori and Looney, right? Lawn. Is there another LOO? I'm not seeing something. Luby. Loozy. LOI. Loin. All right. Well, I got to pick something. The problem is none of these are good choices. I mean, lolly's probably the best choice in case it's lowly. I can't help but think I'm missing something. I want to use... I mean, I could do another filler, Laurel, which tests double L and Lori, but it just doesn't feel good enough. All right, I'm going to go with Lolly. Has Lolly been the answer? For some reason I thought Lolly was the answer recently. But I can't trust that. I don't know that that's true. All right, let's try it. So we're down to Lori and Looney. And now I really don't have a good... I mean, unless Lorney is accepted, I don't really have a good way to... It's guess 5. I got to think if there's anything else to see if there's an optimal guess here. It's not lowly now. I don't think there's another Y one. Like lovey, there's no E. And now that that Y is there, I don't think we're going to be using this I. Is there like a double Y one? I don't think like this. Lobby. Oh no. Another one that doesn't get anything from anyone else. So we already know that we're in gamble territory. Because there's Looney, there's Lobby, and there's Lori. Unless I can do like Lonby or something. Or Lobney. Nope. Lorby? Lobry? No. Okay, so I think it's gambling time. Lobby is the most common word. Looney, pretty common. Lori, common in Britain. So I can't really use that. I can't really use that meta. Is something like lonky a word? If so, I should go loony. I tried so hard to not get trapped, and I still got trapped. This is such a nasty trap. Okay, so just in case lonky for some reason is a word. I mean, no, wonky is a word. I don't think, I mean, someone can be a lonk, right? So can it be lonky? Just in case that's a word, I'm going to go loony here. And now I'm between Lobby and Lori, and I really think I should go Lobby. Shoot. I mean, it's really the only choice. I didn't do fillers because I'm in hard mode. If I wasn't in hard mode, way up here, I would have done just, let's spam some letters. But here we are. It wasn't. It was Lori. I tried so hard to avoid that trap, and I still didn't win. That's nasty. All right, well, I got caught by the trap today. Let's do, we'll do better tomorrow. Let's do some analysis. So, oh, before we do analysis, though, let's spin the wheel to see what tomorrow's starting word would be. We even had like an optimal starting word with steel, and still couldn't get through the trap. All right, Kruth. Starts by Cordell Ring. It's honestly not that bad of a start. The letters are at least not that uncommon. It's just a weird word because it's, is it Welsh, I think? Don't quote me on that. Where they use W as a vowel sometimes. All right, so we're going to be starting with Kruth tomorrow. I'm probably not even pronouncing that correctly, by the way. Let's do some analysis and see where I went wrong. Probably early on. Maybe clump was already bad. All right, so the answer was Lori. If I hadn't thought of Lobby, I would have won. But honestly, like Lobby's just, it felt like a more common word, more likely to be an answer. And then I was worried about Lonky, so I went with that Looney. I mean, Looney was a completely reasonable guess, too. All right, Steel was our starter. So yeah, it's worried about the Ollie trap, of course, as one should be. 134 words left. It says folic is the way to avoid, or lofty. Why is lofty yellow? Oh, lofty is yellow because of the T. But it says lofty is a way to avoid the traps, but folic does better. Folic. I did clump, which I'm sure it's going to say you're going to lose on the Ollie trap. Yep, Illy and Ollie. Okay. Already, right after steal, you have to be considering Illy and Ollie traps and doing something like Folic, which gets folly. And yeah, I think the issue is, well, I don't know. There's something about Folic. It maybe it has to do with the placement of the L because it gets rid of the lolly as well. Maybe a few others. Anyway, I did clump. And now it is saying might have lost on, but actually we aren't going to lose on it. So this just wasn't fully analyzed is what happened. And it's saying all of these, lodge is what I did. It's listing ledge. So actually you would think, oh, lodge is strictly better than ledge, but no, because lodge locked me into LO words. Ledge we know is gray. It checks the D and G. It's exactly what I was saying. Check the L first, D and G. But I did lodge, and that locked me into LO, and that's what failed. So ledge was actually better, even though it has two gray E's in it, because you aren't locked into that green. Says lodge might have lost on it. So it still says I can recover though. So again, the analysis wasn't full on these, but now it's saying loner, lols, or local. So it's saying I have to do a filler in order to account for all of these. Notice how lols works, but lolly does not. See how any of the answers are down to an 80% solve rate. And unfortunately, I lost that 80%. Because we're down to lobby, lolly, loony, lorry, and lowly. At least I thought of all of them eventually, just not soon enough. And so what I could have done is loner, because loner, it's a filler because it uses the E again, but it tells you about loony and lorry. Or you could do lols, because lols doesn't lock you into the Y at the end, so you still have the opportunity to do more fillers after. Or you could do local, which tests double L, which is good for lowly and lolly. And that's really all it does for you, but you're allowed to guess it because the C and the A are gray. You're allowed to reuse grays. So there is no non-filler here. I thought I was safe because I hadn't thought of lobby. Well, I was a little skeptical about being safe, but I did lolly. And then now it's truly a gamble. There is no saving it. We have a 1 out of 3 chance of losing. And then I did loony. And now it's a 50-50 between lobby and lorry. There was also lorry, which I wasn't going to guess. And unfortunately, I lost by guessing lobby. Okay. So I had opportunities, but all of the opportunities were fillers. Hard mode fillers, but still fillers. From steal, it would have gone Folic. And now we're going to do world. Notice we're avoiding ending in that Y. Woolly also works. Like Folic just got rid of a lot of the troublesome words, I guess. But we still have, for these LOs, we have lobby, loony, loopy, lordy, lorry, and lowly. So world is going to get our W and our R, which is going to be very helpful. And then now we're actually just down to lorry because that R hit. Okay, so yeah, let's look at least. It's going to go lyric from here. And then we're just, because we got lucky on the R, we're down to lordy and lorry. So a 3 or a 4. How about a dew? So from a dew, all gray, we're going to go thorn. It's an interesting choice of vowels, actually. Not vowels, interesting choice of consonants. Here we're down to 3 words because we got that R place, lorry, sorry, and worry. So it's the ORRY trap. So it could be as bad as 5, but it could also be 3. So 3 to 5. Thorn worked really, really well today. I think I just didn't get an R soon enough. If I had just gone for R, like I would have gotten lucky. It would have hit lorry. I replaced the R in crump with clump, and I guess that caused me all sorts of problems. I couldn't have guessed crump, but maybe I should have targeted an R. I usually do. All right, audio. It says to do a filler here, plots. Then from plots, we're going to go lemon. Interesting. So we test lolly. Molly, maybe? I don't know. And so now we're down to lolly, or we're down to 4 words: lobby, lolly, lorry, and lowly. So it says go a lolly or a lowly. because they get each other. The other ones are completely separate. So, you know, if you don't get lucky on Lolly Lori, then you're just down to these guesses. So, but at least we eliminated 2 with this one guess. And so then it's 5 or a 6 from there. Dangerous word. Stare, very common starting word. We get that R. I think that's going to be very good. We're going to go whirl with that R, and then we're just down to Lori. So any starter with the R did not struggle today because you avoid the trap. Pert, for example, tries to get in 2. Has the highest chance to get in 2, I should say. Again, whirl, Lori, so it's the same solve as stare. And then finally, tarps. It does get the R in place, so I think we're fine. We're testing quarter, interestingly. And then warrior Lori, so 3 or 4. All right, well, let's check with the official bot. I wonder if this screenshot will work, because it doesn't get to see that letter. Let me inspect and just remove that. Is it this guy? Let's find out. Hide. Nope, that wasn't it. I need... where are you? I don't know where it is. If I refresh, does it still say Lori there? I might be able to catch it. Nope. I need to find that element then and remove it. Lori? Where are you? There you are. Hide. There it is. Okay. This is the most fun part, watching me do this. All right, Lori. And we're going to go into here. I don't think I beat the bot today. It gave me a 91 skill despite losing. Unlucky. All right. So people did cloud, flower, climb, blink, lunge, cling, blind, plonk, clump, and folic. So flower did the best. You get the R, which is nice. I noticed none of these other ones used the R. Unlucky. The worst was folic, which was actually what the bot suggestion was as well. It's interesting, the other bots. But people who did folic did worst. Unlucky. Blind is a 2.1. People who did clump got a 2.8 on average guesses. Logic gave us 77 too. Dolly would have been more efficient, but also would have been a huge gamble. So if we do Dolly, we actually could end up in this trap right here. Folly, jolly, holly, golly, lolly. And you do not want to end up in that trap. This is why this bot is not very good at hard mode. We ended up in the lobby loony. It would have ended up in lobby loony Lori, which would have worked out fine for it with a guessing Dolly. But that's just luck. Here I ended up in the unfortunate bucket here, although this bucket's bad too. But at least it's not as trappy. The words are not all the same. These are all the same. Oh, 4 greens there. All right. It would have done lowly over lolly. I don't really see why. Maybe it has to do with percent chance. It just doesn't think lolly is as likely as lowly is. And then loony, it gave a 99. Lobby, it gave a 99. There just wasn't any way out at this point. All right, it does tarps, marry, curry, worry, Lori. So it gets a 5. Let's see. 0.3 starting with Lori. 2.2, 22.7, 60.6, 86.3, 96.8. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of people are going to have an R in their early guesses, and that's what keeps this solve rate high. All right, let's refresh and check regular mode. Hello. Wow, my Explorer's like crashed. Hopefully it'll come back in a second. There we go. Okay. There we go. Regular mode. It gave me a very poor score here because unlike in hard mode, it's like, hey, do a filler, do a filler, do a filler, which makes sense. Should have, if I was not in hard mode. People followed up with cloud, flower, round, climb, proud, blink, lunch, pluck, clump, comfy. Comfy is a suggestion. Just go straight filler. Who did best? Flower and round. The ones that have the R did best, of course. Worst was climb, cloud. Oh, pluck was 2.9. Clump was a 2.6 again. All right. And it's saying, hey, what are you doing? Do brawn, do a rose, do something. Oh, why'd you do that? Okay. Slate, dilly, loopy, lobby, lorry. Still gets a 5, even with the ability to do fillers. All right, 0.5, starting with lorry. Same amount that started with steel. 2.2, 19.4, 55.8, 82.9, 95.3. All right, and actually lobby is the most common thing to lose on. All right, well, how'd you do?